Hi folks, Christy from Shark Pixel here. Thank you for joining me on this journey where I am talking about all the newest brand spanking new releases that have just been announced when it comes to Lightroom Classic at this AdobeMAX 22. So in this episode, it's probably my favorite. I saved the best for last. We're going to talk a little bit about the new AI selection features that they have for facial features. Mind blown. I have been waiting for this for years, like maybe close to a decade. And I am so thrilled that Lightroom has finally come out with it. What it does is it allows you to automatically select any facial feature that you want on any person that you want in your photograph, all in Lightroom Classic, all automatically. I know, big deal. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of the selection features, and we're going to do a beauty retouch using AI selection as our starting point. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn it into a preset. So you'll be able to do one-click portrait retouching on any photo of a person that you have. Could you imagine if let's say you're shooting tethered at a corporate event or you're doing headshots. Could you imagine shooting and applying one of these tailored presets where the eyebrows are accentuated, the lip color is added saturation, the skin is smoothed, the eye whites are slightly whitened to make sure there's no red eye whites. The irises are accentuated with one click. I mean, you wouldn't even have to do one click because when you're importing into Lightroom, you can apply a preset during that. So this is the cream of the crop when it comes to the new releases that are being announced and released at Max. I'm so happy to be released from my NDA so that I can tell you guys the amazingness that is coming out in Lightroom Classic. I'm sorry I'm being a super geek about it, but it's just like, it's really honestly how I feel. Okay, so let's get started. First thing I want to make sure everybody does is I want to make sure that you have downloaded the proper version of Lightroom. So from our Lightroom Classic menu, you're going to choose About Lightroom Classic. And of course, I am currently in the pre-release because it hasn't been released yet. I'm filming this ahead of time. But you want to make sure that your Photoshop says 12 point something. Okay? So 12.0, 12.1, not sure what they're going to call it, but let's say 12.0 or 12.1, something like that. Okay. So if you need to update, go ahead and go to your Creative Cloud. You can choose updates and you can choose update from here, the blue buttons, or you can go to all apps and it'll tell you right here in the status if it's up to date or if you need to, if there's an update available for that program. All right. So I want to just take a moment. We're going to take this into develop by hitting the D key on our keyboard. And we'll start by hitting the mask icon. You can see down here in the people section that it's detecting faces. Now, please watch my other episodes on the select people command because it is, it's just a fabulous example of what's actually possible using this new tech. All right, so we've got our option here. We've got our person. She's come up. She's been activated. And so now what it's doing is it's detecting person one's features. All right. So this is where it gets really interesting. So if I zoom in, I don't want to actually zoom in on this for just this section, for just this example. So we have the option for selecting a bunch of things down here. I'll zoom in really quickly. We have face skin, body skin, eyebrows, eye sclera, which are the eye whites, iris and pupil, lips, teeth, and hair. Now, later in this episode, we're going to talk about creating presets, which are going to be able to activate and isolate those specific things and apply different settings to each one of them. It's really exciting. I've already created over 100 presets for beauty retouching already, and it's not even out yet. That's how excited I am about this. They will be released soon. Okay, so entire person, no. Facial skin, that's one option that we have. We have the option for body skin. We have the option for eyebrows, eye sclera. This is going to be a new vocab word for everybody. It's the eye whites, iris and pupil, lips, teeth, and hair. So this is extremely exciting that we could do anything given these selections. So I'll start with face skin, and I'm going to add body skin in with that. Now I'm going to ask Lightroom to create a mask. You also have the option to create 2 separate masks if you want. All right, so let's create that mask. And it is going to be incredibly important as you create multiple masks to go ahead and make sure that you name your masks, what they are. So for this, we're going to double click mask 1, and we're going to call it skin. All right, so now that we have our isolated skin mask with, let me reiterate, no freehand masking whatsoever, we could go and decrease the clarity to soften that skin, super slightly increase the texture. We're going to increase the sharpness, and we're going to take the noise reduction all the way to -100. So all of these sharpening options for me, when I do skin smoothing in Lightroom, I'm going to increase the sharpness. I'm going to decrease the noise reduction. So it's a double negative. Decrease the noise reduction. So you're adding noise by pulling it to -100. Hope that makes sense. So that I can increase the reduced clarity and get softer skin without losing the detail. And then again, just increasing the texture just slightly. And if I turn on and off the masking effects, you can see that I was effortlessly able to just move a couple sliders and get softened skin over the entire image. So talk about amazing. This is just the start of what these specific selections are capable of. Let's talk about selecting hair. All right, so we'll create a new mask. And then once you've already got one mask, the area looks slightly different. So if we come in here, you can activate any of those feature selections by going to select people again. It's going to bring up your person, and you have this familiar area here. So let's choose hair. Let's create a mask of the hair. And let's go ahead and let's get creative here. Let's give her purple hair. Ooh, that looks cool. I mean, it looks super fake, but it looks cool. And the fact that I was able to get a mask over the hair with one click, epic. I mean, it's like what you should shout from mountaintops. At least that's my my specific feeling on the issue. All right, so we can increase the saturation of the hair. Now, remember that this saturation is going to be the native color saturation or the shifted hue. So if you decrease the overall saturation of the native color, it's going to decrease just the initial hair. And then what I've done is I have, so let me back up a step. So I'm going to bring my hue back to baseline. I'm not going to change the color. I'm going to reset temperature and tint by double clicking on everything. I'm going to reset saturation so that my mask actually turns red again. And what I'd like to do is I'm going to just click on this color overlay. And anytime I click on it, you'll see on the left side of your screen, I can add any color hair that I want by adding an overlay. So let's go ahead and let's give her some purple hair. Purple hair. No, I cannot sing right now. Okay, so I've added a bit of a bluish color to this and just giving her like a toned silvery purple. All right, that looks good. I'm happy with that. Now again, I don't want mask 1. What I want this to say is, I want this to say hair. Okay, so we've got hair and we have got skin covered. Let's move on. Let's create another selection of the iris and pupil. So we'll go back into our select people. We're going to select person 1. We're going to choose iris and pupil, and we're going to create a mask. And at this point, what we can do is you have full reign over what you want to add. So if you wanted to give the eyes, like I'm just playing at this point, but let's turn the eyes purple to match the hair. Okay, I want to point something out here that's quite important. We have turned the eyes purple, but we have done so by adding like a reddish color to the eyes. Now, this doesn't make much sense at first thought until you realize that the color that you add is blending or mixing with the underlying color of the iris that was initially there. If you want the color overlay to be more in tune with the color you actually see on the spectrum of colors here, then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to decrease the native texture of the underlying iris. You're going to need to decrease the blue that's mixing with the color that you're adding. So then we can go back to our color overlay box, and instead of adding a red, we can add a color that's closer to purple to match the hair, because we've removed the native blue of the native iris color out of the photo. It's still kind of cool to be able to add, different colors to your iris, and everything like that. So let's move on. Let's go ahead. Before we do that, we are going to call this eye color. And I spelled that wrong, but that's fine. Okay, so we're going to add a new mask. We're going to come back to select people. I'm going to select our person 1. Let's choose eyebrows, and we'll create a mask. See how fun this is? I know, I'm a super geek. Let's just darken the eyebrows slightly to make those eyes pop. Now that we have interesting hair color to add to it, we want to really make those eyebrows pop, maybe a little darker to really make those eyes pop out. If you want, you can add a little bit of dehaze to the brows as well to maybe sharpen them a little bit, and also sharpen the brows if you want. All right, that's looking good. And while we're at it, let's give her purple lips. All right, select people. And no, these are not what my presets look like, just so you know. So select person 1, and let's go ahead and choose lips, create a mask. Again, we will decrease the underlying native pink, add our color overlay, and we'll add a purplish color to the lips. Okay, so we'll turn off all of our masks. We're left with the original, and then we can turn on all of our cool purpling effects, and you get some really cool effects. So just a little bit of a note, how accurate these masks are. They will need, from time to time, a little bit of cleanup around the edges. So you can easily do that. So let's go to our hair mask. We'll click on it, and we're going to choose subtract. So what I want to do is I want to choose subtract from my hair mask, and I want to use the brush tool to do it. I do want to make sure that I stress that when I'm doing this, I take the flow down significantly, because I don't want like a very harsh line. I'm just trying to back it off slowly and erase slowly a little bit of that effect right here along the hairline. So I'm removing just a tad of the purpling effect from the edge of the face. And I can do that in a soft manner because I'm using a lower flow. So you can get extremely intricate with these masks if you wanted to. Now you could do the same. You could add to this mask using a brush, and we could come in over here. And for this, you might increase the flow slightly. Just maybe add in 1 or 2 areas that got missed. Regardless, I did the teensiest bit of freehand masking, and we were still able to get an astonishing result from just a couple clicks using the mouse. So I am over the moon thrilled. I'm going to be including for you 3 of these presets, not the purple preset. I'm going to be including 3 general presets for you, which are 1-click beauty retouching presets for Lightroom. I'm super excited about that. But before we go, let me show you what I was able to create. So I've got the Shark Pixel complete sets, which are all the different options. I have the eye retouching presets. So if I go in here, I've divided it into adjustments for dark eyes and light eyes. And then I have an eye white section and an eye sharpening and eyebrows. Okay, so all those presets you have. So for example, let me turn off the eye color mask here. And I'm just going to hover over these different eye colors for light eyes. So because Lightroom Classic is able to isolate the iris, right? I can go in, I can turn the eyes blue, I can turn them dark brown, I can turn them light brown, light green, hazel, purple, teal, and we can do the same for dark eyes. But for my dark eyes presets, there's different adjustments at different slider values. So that's why they're different presets. And you also have your brow presets as well. So if I wanted to let's give her light brown eyes, and we can do our brows, fill in our brows a little bit, and then we can soften our eye whites. Let's do number 2. So each one of those, if we look over here, is going to create a new mask with those adjustments in it. Okay? Very exciting. So how exactly do we make a preset with this? Let's go ahead. We're going to delete the 3 that I just clicked. We're going to delete eye whites. We're going to delete brows. And we're going to delete color, light eyes, light brown. And we will turn on our initial purple eye color. And let's see, eye color, what is this one? Oh, that's brows. I didn't rename that, so let's name that brows. Then lips. Okay, so how do we make a preset at this point? You guys are familiar with this, right? We're going to choose up here in the preset section. We're going to choose the plus sign, create preset. We can just put it in our user presets. Let's call this purple portrait. You do want to make sure that process version is selected. And then if we come into here into our masking, this is the reason why we name our layers, right? We want to know exactly what we are copying in. Masking, I want to copy the lips, the brows, the eye color, which is spelled wrong, the hair, and the skin mask. Okay? You also want to make sure that support amount slider is activated or checked. And then we can go ahead and hit create on this preset. Now, if we come to another image, let's see if this works. I haven't tried this before. Let's go to our user presets. We'll choose our, what did we call it? Purple portrait. There we go. Got our purple lips. It does seem like the eyes weren't found, but that's probably because the face is basically turned to the side. But what we were able to do is change the hair color, darken the brows, accentuate the brows, change the lip color, all with 1 click. And it's unique to the portrait that you're working on. So I talked a little bit about my 1-click eye presets where you could change the color of the eyes. Let's talk a little bit about the hair. So what I was able to do for my hair presets is I divided them into light hair, medium colored hair and dark hair, because light hair usually has a bit of a yellow or brassy undertone, and darker hair has a bluer undertone. So I had to adjust the colors separately depending on the native hair color in the image. But that doesn't mean that you get bad results. You just get triple the presets, right? So we've got our light hair preset. So you could turn it blue, you could turn it green. We've got honey, orange, pink, purple, red, silver, strawberry, and teal. And you have the same colors for medium colored hair and dark colored hair. So this is just a little bit of a preview of what on earth is possible in Lightroom nowadays. The preset pack is going to be released soon, but today's video, I am giving you my top 3 presets. So you can do one click and you can add all of these portrait retouching adjustments to any image that you have. Additionally, if you have not seen my AdobeMAX presentation, which is beaming out this week live at AdobeMAX, go ahead and sign up so that you can watch it. And if you're interested in downloading the notes for what's new in Photoshop, I know that I'm talking about Lightroom here, but you can download those notes at sharkpixel.com/max22. You can download those notes there. And the link for the presets will be in the description of this video. And if you've learned something new, if you are excited as I am, like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Let's help cumulatively get the word out about what's possible in Lightroom now that I'm finally released from my NDA. And we'll get everybody on board with this amazing tech that has just been released. And I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you so much. Go watch the other videos in this series, because everything that they're releasing is honestly game-changing when it comes to Lightroom Classic. And all this stuff works in Adobe Camera Raw as well. I didn't mention that before. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next course.